Hey everybody, how's it going? I've been getting a lot of questions on how my 22 is set up with the Sideways Shorty. So I figured I'd go over it, kind of give everyone the ins and outs of it, and we'll try out the different bodies right here, and we'll see how they fit. Right now I'm running this J Concept spotter body. I believe it's the finisher body. I keep getting this one, and I keep getting these two mixed up for some reason. They look completely different. They're nowhere near close to the same. But yeah, I believe this is the finisher body, and you can tell because it has the step downs in the back instead of the fin like the other one. See, this is the one that I'm running right now. This is the one I prefer, but we'll go through each and every one of them here, and we'll see how they work. So first off, I'm set up with I believe it's the J Concepts mounting package. I believe they make this. When I got this, it was off of another kit. It was already cut like this. I believe it's a trimmed down version of the J Concepts brace. But I am using the J Concepts post here. I'm using the shorter ones because I'm actually using the shorter Shorty. So this is a 2S 3800 Shorty from SMC, and it is the size of a 1S. And this is my normal, my everyday Orca Shorty, 4800 normal standard thickness. Really, the big difference between the two is the thickness. I mean, it's huge, and with that is a huge weight difference. So generally, the 1S size shorties are going to be about 60 grams lighter than their regular counterparts. I was originally using this in my 22.4. It's great, helps balance it out both side to side. Honestly, I tossed it in here and it just fit, so I've been running it. So we'll take a look here, and I'll get this up as close as I can. So what you'll notice here is I cut out extra. I cut out way more than I needed to. So my cutouts go all the way up, and I actually have some foam sitting up there to make it so I can move the battery back and forth in here. I wanted to be able to do that in case, hey, I turned it sideways and all of a sudden I just have way too much traction. I know mid-motor never happens. No, it happens. And I'm like, it's the last thing you want is to be in a situation where you can't change it when you're at the track racing. So I went ahead and milled out a little extra and just took some foam pieces, cut them off, and they'll stick up in there, and I can actually switch them back and forth. So it's not really a complaint. The biggest thing that I don't really like so much about the Sideways Shorty is how high it has to sit up off the chassis. So I went as far as I milled down the side pod as much as possible. So there's no side pod up to the very edge of the chassis. So my shorties will sit directly on top of the chassis. And so that's it sits a good few millimeters off the middle, since how the sides are bent up on it. And what I did do is I took a little bit of shoe goo and kind of smeared it in the gap here. That way there's not, I'm not having dust come up through the bottom of the chassis into it, and kind of messing everything up. So let's move on to batteries and what batteries fit with which bodies. I'm going to take this one here. This is the 1S size Shorty. I keep saying 1S sized. It is the size of it is the same as what a 1S would be, but it definitely is a 2S pack. So I'm not trying to do anything funky here. I guess running the battery is a little funky. So the 3800 milliamp hour pack is perfectly sufficient for me to run 10-minute mains. I think in a 10-minute main, I ended up pulling about 2,000 milliamps out of the pack, so it's plenty battery. It's plenty. You're good. I do have the low profile bullet connectors. I'm going to go ahead and plug those in. That way we can get a full good test of this and see how it works overall. So I will start with the regular low C kit body. We'll see how that fits on here. So yeah, I can tell it's hitting over here already. This side will go down all the way, but you can see this side here will sit up probably about a good 1/4 inch right here on the back. So not ideal. I would not recommend this, although I mean it could work. I mean it could work if you had to for a day or two, but I wouldn't trust it. Okay, well, let's try the TLR cab forward body. Yeah, same issue. I can feel it hitting over here already. I might have just different Velcro on this body, but this one seems to be sticking fairly well. Keep in mind this is the 1S size shorty, so when we go to the regular pack, it's going to be a ton different. So I mean, it doesn't fit as well as the stock body. I can tell looking in here, yeah, that we're hitting the bolt connectors here. That's no good. So I mean, there's a huge gap there. Yeah, there you go. There's a huge gap between the bottom of the side pod and where the body actually sits at. And if we move around to the other side, there's still a little gap here. It's not too bad. It's more than I would want though if I was running a body. All right. So I mean, between the two low C bodies, I don't think either one of them would work particularly well. Yeah. Actually, I think this one fits a little bit better than the stock bodies. So part of the issue with the J Concepts bodies is you cut them out yourself, and it might not be an issue for some people, but I guess it depends on how good you are with scissors for the day. I'm not sure if it's meant to be that way, but this body, the way it's cut right now, I thought I cut right along the line, but it kind of curves up quite a bit in the middle here. I don't know if that's by design or if I just had a rough day with the scissors, but this body does definitely seem to fit better than the low C ones. But again, we're hitting the battery connectors. Well, actually, we're only hitting the forward one. So there's the battery connector here that we're hitting, and the other one back here we kind of hit, but not quite the same. So there's a little bit more clearance here. If this is the only body you had, I'd say you could get away with running it until you get a different body. Alright, so this is what I've been running. As you can tell, the sides on this body are huge. And I've run a bunch of different vehicles, and I ran Associated for a long time. So this body seems to normalize the vehicle for me and not feel so funky being so narrow. But yeah, this body fits perfect. It fits all the way over here. I mean, on this side, I mean, it goes all the way down. Well, wait for the video to catch up. There we go. So yeah, this it fits really well. As you can see, it goes straight to my hand. My hand's the side pods there. So looking inside, I have about 1/4 to 1/2 inch clearance between the post and the edge of the body here. And so what I've done to secure this is I only use Velcro. I've been running it for about 2 months. Yeah. No? Yeah, not this body. Well, yeah, I've been running the body for about 2 months, not the Sideways Shorty setup. And honestly, there's not, I haven't had any issues with it ripping off or anything. And what I did, since how the curvature up here is different than the side pods, I only put Velcro along the length of the side pod right here. So if you look only from here to here, is there any Velcro? And that seems to be perfectly plenty to hold the body on. Even, the random kid at the track running out there, he's all happy flipping cars over, might grab the body a little too hard and rip it off usually. I haven't had any issues with that. And I literally just do the same thing on the body, take the Velcro, run it along as long as I can. I figure the more surface area of Velcro that I have on the body to the side pod, the better, and it doesn't touch the front at all. So let's go ahead and take this off, and we'll switch over to the Orca pack. Fortunately, the Orca pack has 5mm bullet connectors, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out here. We won't be able to tie it down with my current strap because it's not set up for that tall of a battery, but we'll pop it in here and see what we can come up with. Oh wow. So the Orca pack is actually slightly longer than my SMC pack. I'm having troubles with it hitting the side pods right here. It's hitting here and over here. So I'll go ahead and push it up. Yeah, that's fairly good there. With the battery kind of floating up a little bit like that, I'm not going to give the bullet connectors a good test. We're just going to kind of set those off to the front here, off to the side. And we'll roll them up right in here. And I figure it's popping up enough on its own. We'll see. Alright. Actually, that went on real easily. In there, ooh, it's close. Let's see if we can give it a shot. Okay. Oh, that's scary. Okay. I mean, with as much as that's rising up, that's more than we'll have from the connectors. So, yeah, instead of risking shorting out something here, we're going to pop this off. Yeah. So pop this back on one more time with the motor there. Yeah, this body just fits perfectly. There's some wire underneath there. If you ever want to try it, I would recommend going with this body. This body is going to work for you. You shouldn't have any issues with it. You'll be able to run your normal shorties. If you have a 22.4 and you start running the 1S size shorties, it'll work even better for you. Other than that, the only thing that I would note is the side-to-side play. If you're moving the battery forward to test that out, the thing that you'll need to know is you might not need to grind down there's a sideways support here, or support that comes out from right here on the side pod, almost halfway in the middle. You don't need to grind that all the way flush. You could actually leave it stick out just a little bit, and that way it would help keep the shorty centered. But if you're dealing with two different, or slightly different length shorties, that could be a problem. So it'll kind of be a call based on what kind of equipment you have, what's available to you. The other thing I did notice is even with the 1S size shorty, I I couldn't quite get it to go all the way to the back of the vehicle, right up against the waterfall, because the side pods were definitely a little too narrow in the back end. I think with the SMC here, I could get it in, but I'd have to buzz the side pod a little bit there. I wasn't too comfortable doing that right away. Honestly, where it's sitting right now works excellent. So I really have no need and no desire to change it away from the way it is now. Other than that, if you want to make room to go forward, the big thing that I wanted to do is I didn't want to overly weaken the side pod. It does have a little lip here, or not a lip, but a hook here where it would go around where the old Velcro straps would fit through. I just made sure that I didn't butcher that at all. So I cut off a little bit before there and went straight back into the side pod, and that left plenty of room from the mounting, the hole in the chassis here. This is the lightweight negative 2.5 chassis, so I believe this area on both chassis is the same, so that shouldn't make a difference. But if you're noticing that it looks a little different, that would be why. I really think that's everything. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments below, and we'll go over it there. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.